Hi everyone, this is going to be a video on weeping areas, what I did for weeping areas that didn't work, what I did that did work, what helped, what didn't. There wasn't a lot that helped, I'll just say that. My hands are still very weepy on the back of this one. I scratched it last night, I scratched it and I scratched it and now it's weeping. Which this was my good hand, you know? This was the one that didn't have any at the beginning and now it's weeping. The main area I had my weeping was on my chest, and obviously you saw my face in the first video that I did. If you haven't watched that already, go and check that out. You can see how different my face is now to then. But the main area that I had my weeping, and it still does weep sometimes or just like a little bit, is on my chest and my bust area, which obviously this is very hard to deal with. I just couldn't really heal very quickly, and it's still not completely healed now, but if you could see pictures, which you're not going to, of it at the beginning, it was the whole area, like all red, all weepy, and I just cried cried and cried for ages about it because it looked like I'd been scolded. It looked like I had acid being poured on me, if I'm completely honest. But yeah, it doesn't look like that anymore. I'm starting to see my own complexion, if that's the right word. I'm starting to see my own pigmentation and colouring, so that's good. So the one thing that I did in the beginning when it was really bad was I put gauze on it, thin gauze. This is from Boots. Then I put some pseudocreme on the top of it to help. Sometimes this would work, other times the cream would literally just vanish because the area was that wet that it wouldn't stay on the weeping area, and other times it would work depending on how much my body was weeping, which is very annoying, as I'm sure most of you know that are watching this video. So with water intake, I tried this and I didn't like it at all. It just didn't feel right for me to restrict my water. I didn't really notice much of a difference when I did. I know a lot of people do, but I personally didn't. And I just didn't feel right for me to restrict how much I was drinking. And I'm someone that drinks a lot of water a day, so restricting myself to 2 litres, a litre a day was just a bit extreme to me. So I tried to track my reactions after food, especially in the beginning. I don't so much do it now because I kind of know what triggers and know what doesn't, and if I do try something new I track it then. In the beginning I had all these foods that I'd normally eat, and some were making me itch more, some were making me weep more, and sometimes I'd eat and I'd get extremely itchy right after eating something, and sometimes it would take a couple of days or a couple of hours to show in weeping, and then it would just kind of disappear a little bit when the food was out of my system. I found my clothes stuck to my skin, so if I just watched a movie that was, say, just over an hour and a half and I didn't move, or I didn't move my t-shirt around a little bit, my skin would stick to the t-shirt, or it would be my t-shirt would be soaked. Otherwise, if it wasn't stuck, it was soaked, so I'd have to go up and change my t-shirt. So another thing that I tried walking around with a small hula hoop underneath my t-shirt, and I looked like a little Oompa Loompa. But I put like a hula hoop to try and get the clothes to not touch my skin, because I went through a period where everything that was touching my skin was making me itch, and if I wanted to leave my bedroom, which I did, then I'd have to wear clothes. So yeah, I went around in a hula hoop for a while. The one thing that I tried recently, well, in the last couple of months, my grandma went into Boots and she found some breast pads. These are for women that are breastfeeding their babies, and obviously the leakage of that. And I have it obviously on my chest, on this area, so I put this in my bras if I go out, and there's a bit of sticky on the back of them, and you can stick them to your clothes, and hopefully you save a lot of clothes and save a lot of changes, because when I was first going through it I was running out of t-shirts every day because it was just so much weeping like that hula hoop. I wouldn't have needed that hula hoop if I had these, because these don't stick to my skin, and they've got something on them, I don't know what it is, but it stops the skin from sticking. They are specifically for breastfeeding, but they do help, and they've helped me a lot. I used this for a while. I put it in a little spray bottle, and from a distance I would spray my weeping areas with this. This is really good to prevent infection, and it's also really good for infection as well, but obviously go to the doctor if you feel like you have an infection or do have an infection. And I've got some bandages and support for my hands. Yeah, I'm still wearing these, but these are really good as well. I found that when it's out of sight, it's a little bit easier not to scratch it. Again, logically it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to me, obviously, because it stops me from scratching it. Or if I try to scratch on the material rather than on my skin, because obviously our skin's very easy to tear, so now I just want to scratch my hand. One other thing that I found that was really good for my weeping areas, again, only just started doing this recently, but Sudocrem and Bauman's Skin Salvation mixed in equal measures on my skin really helped. I don't know what it is, but I just thought one day maybe I should mix this cream and this cream because they're both good creams, and then put them on my skin and see what happens, and I found it healed over a lot quicker. But I didn't do this in the beginning, so I don't know what that would be like in the beginning. I'm on month 19 in 2 days, so for me now this is really helpful with just mixing these two, but I don't know if it would have been helpful when I first started. So if someone does try it, please let me know. Obviously this is just something I found out myself, obviously patch test it. But also if you do want the Bauman's Skin Salvation, I've got a 20% discount code in the description, which is Michaela20, and you can use that at checkout. One of the other things I did to prevent infection was put in 1 or 2 drops of tea tree in a large amount of water, and then getting a clean flannel and just wringing out the excess water and dabbing it on the weeping area. And I found this to be very helpful, and I haven't had an infection, and I've been doing this since the beginning. So again, patch test it, see if you're okay with tea tree. Me and my mum would hoover my bed and hoover my room every day, whether that was me or my mum, because sometimes I was too ill to do that myself. So it's just like depending on the day if I'd do it myself. And obviously changing your sheets regularly as well, because there's a lot of bacteria in the skin that has been shed off. When it came to weeping areas, I didn't submerge them in water. I just dabbed them with a flannel, because I found in the beginning when I did go into the bath and submerge my skin into water, all the healing would come off as soon as either in the bath or when I got out of the bath. So it was just getting rid of all that healing that I did. A lot of people find comfort in water, where I just found it very stressful. I found Reiki really helpful for my mindset and my stress levels. So when I got really stressed, I'd scratch. So my mum's a Reiki master, and she'd do Reiki on me to calm me down, and that really helped with my scratching fits. And obviously I know a lot of people don't have a mum that does Reiki, but you can watch Reiki energy videos on YouTube and also meditations, and they're really good for kind of calming the mind down. If that's all the recommendations that I have, and I know that's not many, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe and comment. Please leave below anything that has helped you with weeping areas, and I'll see you in the next video.